Hi everybody, welcome to Holy Soul's Kitchen. I'm trying a beef au jus, I guess, or what we used to call when we had our own place, a Philly steak sandwich. So you folks from Philly or back east, I don't want you yelling at me because I don't have any red or green peppers in here. But at any rate, all I did for this was I took some oil at the bottom of the pan and sauteed onions and garlic until they were tender, and then I added some wine to that, and of course I'm using the fake garlic today again, and then some Worcestershire sauce. I know that's the improper pronunciation, but anyways, just joking around. And then I got this as a Christmas gift. I got the Bearded Butcher. It's salt and paprika. I really like the flavor of it, so I added that to the mix. Now I didn't have any beef stock, so I had to modify it, and I used probably a cup and a half or so of chicken stock just to get my sauce so that I had enough liquid, because this is going to go into the Instant Pot, of which I'm sauteing the beef right now. I modified this. I really don't know if it's going to come out or not, but I modified it from a beef stroganoff recipe. So we'll see how it comes out. All right, so I took about a 2-pound round steak, and I'm just sauteing this up right now. And I just put some olive oil in the bottom of the pan. And you don't want to cook it. You just want to get it brown. That's all you want to do at this particular stage. And then what I'm going to do is take it back out of the pan, and then add the sauce to it, and cook it for I'm guessing probably about 7 to 8 minutes. So I took that round steak, and again, these are not your best cuts, but they certainly are cheaper at the grocery store. So you should be able to feed several people. And then you can take this, we're going to make it and put it in between bread with some cream cheese. And then we're going to make sandwiches out of it. But you could also thicken it up with a little cornstarch and put it over some pasta or rice, whatever you choose. We just like the sandwiches. We've had this same recipe for years, so 5 plus, almost 30 years. But this is the first time I'm doing it on the Instant Pot, in the Instant Pot rather. Well, since my filming crew is unavailable for comment, the woman's doing some grocery shopping today with a friend of hers. I'm going to have to try to do this on my own, but I also want to make sure that you recognize that we have the Immaculate and the Sacred Heart there watching over me. Again, this is the first time I've tried it this way. We've had this recipe plenty of times, just on top of the stove, so you don't have to do it in the Instant Pot. But with a tougher piece of meat like this, and you have to slice it thin, and when you do slice it, it's best if you keep it in the freezer for 30 minutes and then slice it. You can get more accuracy. Again, don't be afraid to invest in a good knife. That's important. So what we'll do here is I'm going to take this sauce here, and then I'm just going to put it right in, because I sauteed the meat, and again, you can see you just want to cook it slightly, and then with the Instant Pot, what you can do is it'll soften up the meat, and it'll make it nice and tender. However, if you don't have an Instant Pot and you don't want to go through that particular process, you can cook it right in the sauce. That's not a problem. And then you just serve it up. Again, we like the sandwiches. So I'm going to go ahead. The next step is going to be I'm just going to take the sauce and add it to it, and then add it to the meat. So here's what it looks like. You want to have your sauce covering the meat to make sure that you have enough moisture in there so you don't make your beef come out like leather, which it really won't do in the Instant Pot. But at any rate, so you can see I just put it on pressure cook. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it for, I'm going to go with 7 minutes because I sliced it thin. If you happen to cube it and you want to make a gravy out of it, you know, you may want to give it a couple extra minutes, you know, maybe 10 minutes or so. A lot of it is just knowing and feeling comfortable with what you're doing. And again, you can cook this right on top of the stove. It's not a problem. It's going to be a family favorite no matter which way you go. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that I also added some vinegar as well to it, and that Worcestershire sauce really adds a lot of flavor to it as well. So I set my timer for 7 minutes, and as you can see, I got it on seal, and I got the what I call a relief valve, being a submariner. That's what I'm used to calling it. So that was a while back, but at any rate, we'll go ahead and let this come down. And I do have to keep warm. I'm probably going to do a quick release on this for those who understand what the Instant Pot does. And we'll see how it comes out. It should be nice and moist and tender. So it ended out, to make the beef more tender, I needed 15 minutes in the Instant Pot. So I've put everything back into the wok, and again, you can use a frying pan if you so choose. It doesn't really matter. And the reason I put everything back into this pot is because we have to cook up some spuds, and we're going to be using some sour cream. And the woman is back, and so I welcome her input. I think she approves of this particular recipe. Again, this came out of my head as a modification of a French dip, beef stroganoff, whatever it is that you want to call it. And again, I just sautéed up some onions. I used the fake garlic again today, and of course we dedicate everything to the holy souls in purgatory. And you can see, if you know how to cook, the vinegar was probably maybe several tablespoons, splashes, just to give it some flavor. I got some barbecue rub that I really like. Again, that was from our children. Lots of red wine, and your beef stock is really what you want to use. Probably a cup and a half, but I cheated and I used some chicken stock in order to give it more liquid. And then what we're doing here is that we're gonna make Philly steak sandwiches. So we got some ciabatta bread, and we're just warming it up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some cream cheese and put it over. Put it on the bread, spread it on the bread. And then we have a mixture of mozzarella and hot cheese that we pour over the top. And that's pretty much about it. And again, you know that don't use a lot of measurements. I added the Italian spices, the thyme, and love, of course. And it came out really good. I'm pretty happy with the flavor, the way that it came out. Any comments, woman?
We'll see after I taste it.
Okay.
I eat it.
All right. So I'm sure that she'll like it. And I managed to cook a meal and film without her. I barely made it. All right, so this is the end dish, the end portion of it anyways. So we kept it warm on the stove. It ended out being 15 minutes in order to get the meat nice and tender. So what we did is we took ciabatta bread and we just sliced it in half. The cream cheese adds both flavor and it prevents the beef and the juice that's in there from making your sandwich become a sloppy mess. So if you use cheap bread, that's just what's going to happen. So the meat is nice and tender, and then we just build a sandwich this way. And this will feed a crowd, a couple of pounds. And you don't want your bread necessarily too crusty because all the meat will fall out. It makes it difficult to eat. So, and then we just build it this way, right here. And I have my filming crew, better known as the woman. She's back. So after doing some shopping, and then this is a combination of mozzarella and some hot cheese, and then you just put it on top here. The better cheese actually is Havarti, maybe even Swiss. So yeah, we call this. I don't know. I guess you could call it.
Provolone would be good too.
Or provolone. Havarti actually is the best. It's relatively expensive, but
we're worth it.
But worth it, yeah. So we'll save this last one for our other power lifter and professional videographer. So he's out in the wilderness somewhere. And then you just go like this, right here. And of course, this is the bottom. That one's the top. So for presentation, presentation, you want to go like this. And again, this dish is I guess you could call it a modified Philly steak sandwich. So any of you Easterners out there, please don't give me any grief.
You could put some more juice on there and make it, if you wanted to, but you might have to eat it with a fork if you did that, a knife.
Right, fork and knife. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, if you put more juice.
So as you can see, we got plenty of meat left over. That's a 2-pound round steak, and it's a less expensive cut of meat. So you really have to cook it for longer. If you don't have an Instant Pot, you're gonna have to take at least a couple of hours on and I don't know why the top's not coming out, but at any rate, there's what we have. So it looks a little sloppy there.
Because you put 2 bottoms on top of each.
Yeah. So we'll save this one for our professional videographer, and that is super tender. You're gonna be able to eat that really easily. So I think you'll enjoy this sandwich. It will feed a crowd. So we'll see you next time. Don't forget to please pray for the holy souls in purgatory.
And don't talk with your mouth full.
That's what I forgot during my childhood. All right. Salve Maria.